one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Here. Belair. Here. Ogier.
Here. Present. Here.
Well, we're all going to do is speak tonight.
And a 15-minute time frame, yes.
Well, how many minutes are we going to be allocated? You can't just say 10 minutes and then 12 people speak and 2 get cut off.
Well, you have to be cognizant. Try to get people.
You need to tell us how many minutes we're going to
You have
have.
15 minutes to speak.
And how many people are going to speak?
I don't know.
Well, let's find out like they used to. The previous council president used to ask who's signing up, and then you divide that 15 minutes by that. That way you get your speed for sure.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak under the open forum? You need to sign in if you would like to speak under the open forum. Is there anyone else in the audience that would like to speak under the open forum? Mr. Leclerc? Please state your name and your address for the record.
Hello, my name is Paul Belair. I live at 286 Overlea Rd in Smithfield, and I was the vice president of the North Smithfield Town Council when the proposed purchase of the gold property initially came before us. I'd like to share some information and pose some questions to the members of the Town Council before you go into the executive session this evening. First one is, are you aware that the previous Town Council passed a motion, and I'll summarize. The motion was made to research additional funding sources so that the town of North Smithfield would not have to spend any of its own money for the gold property purchase. I was wondering if you were aware of that. And secondly, with that question is, I'd like to know where the funding sources are coming from for purchase of the property. Is there anything beyond the bond and DEM? The second thing is, has the town already budgeted the new proposed debt for this bond in the current budget? If not, it would be in violation of town's charter process and added expenditures to an existing budget. The planning board, in the process that I'm aware of, is the planning board's recommendation and the budget committee review with submission to the town council. Then a vote from the town council, and if passed, is placed in the following year's budget as an expense. Third item, have you received from the property owner a currently revised, fully executed and stamped survey of the proposed property as of yet? If not, how do you know what the town is actually purchasing? The initial survey that we saw 10 years ago, or maybe 15 years ago, the initial survey was not complete. All the boundary lines were not established. Wetland areas were not properly identified or calculated, and structures were missing. Fourth item, have all of the town council members been issued the recent purchase and sales agreement for the proposed gold property for their review? If not, has the agreement been presented to the members by an attorney and discussed each of the line items to include the payment terms? Next one, are there any concessions listed in the new purchase and sales agreement? The previous concessions that were presented to us on the day of the signing without notice from the landowner's attorney. 9, are there any the entry and exit points to the gold property and any rights of ways been clearly identified within the new purchase and sales agreement? Next item is in terms of providing security for the people using the property, has Chief Reynolds been contacted and shown the property in question as to what resources he's going to need? In terms of maintenance of the trails in the parking lot, has Mr. Pendergrass been contacted and shown the property in question as to what resources he's going to need for the maintenance of the property? In terms of possible fire on the property, has Chief Chartier been contacted and shown the property to determine what resources he's going to need at entry and exit points of the property? Has, and last one, 13 actually is, has the town liability insurance company been contacted for a quote to insure the proposed property? And if so, what's the cost of the premium? And the last item is there should not be any leap of faith for any reason in consideration for a purchase of a piece of property like this. Thank you very much. And I have a copy for the town council.
Mike Rathko?
Good evening. I wanted to comment about the application for solar that was in the Belair last week. It's unfortunate that nowhere in the article you understand who's the owner of the property, who's submitting the bid, and who's involved in this. When you look at the Plat maps, you realize it's Grand Man's Development, which is our administrator, the owner of that LLC corporation. What I'm uncomfortable with now, it's unfortunate. If you were a decent person, you would have waited until you left office. You did get an advantage last year from the last council to make this happen, which is fine. I have no problem with that. It's just the timing of it. You're an administrator, you're managing a town, and now how are you going to prevent conflict? You're also involved in a financial project that you're going to benefit from at the same time. I don't want to be in the shoes of some of the employees of this town, like the town planner or the building inspector. Be involved in this application and report to our administrator. It's very uncomfortable. I don't know. How can you remark, how can you stay neutral in the project when your boss is the administrator? In the state of Rhode Island, where else is this happening? You have a manager also involved in a financial project at the same time. I think what happens 99% of the time is the person leaves office, then the project gets going, and everyone's happy, no problem. So now I don't know where we should go. Should we be having a discussion with the administrator, council privately, or executive session? I don't know. If it was my own opinion, I would say if you have to start the solar project, maybe you should resign as the administrator of this town. Keep it separate. You can't wear two hats. You can't be the administrator and also a major project for financial benefit. It shouldn't happen. Maybe it's legal, but it's going, we shouldn't do business like this in North Smithfield. If this happened in Providence or some city in the Providence area, that's the way they do business in Providence. But this is North Smithfield. We should be focused on trying to be transparent, and trying to stay decent. That's the bottom line. It's legal. I'm not worried about the legality. I'm worried about the ethics and the decency of running this town. And it's going to be an issue. I also wanted to talk quickly about the gold property. When Cumberland bought their property, they needed it. They bought it for $6,500. The total price was $6,500 an acre. And I think it cost the town maybe $2,500 an acre. 229 acres. But they bought it because they needed it. And that's the issue. Do we really need the gold property? We have 3 potential lots available for open space. We've got the Renton Estates, which is coming up pretty soon. They develop it, it's going to be open space. The second one is the Howell School. Once we knock all those buildings down, it's going to be open space. And the last one is the 40 acres we've got in Darling Village, open space. And that 40 acres in Darling Village sits next to Woonsocket's hundreds of acres of open space. We should be focused on working with Woonsocket to use those 40 acres with Woonsocket for parking to get into Woonsocket's conservation area. That's what we should be focused on, not the gold property. And my last comment is, 6 months ago I asked why didn't we build a wind turbine on those 40 acres. I still don't have a public answer as to why they didn't help wind turbine in detail, why the contract fell apart. We bought the land, we expected a wind turbine on that 40 acres, and it was never built. But let's focus on that 40 acres. Let's do a good job with it. We bought the property, it cost us, what, $500,000. Let's use it. Let's make use of it. Let's focus on that. And just forget, we're wasting time with that property. It's a waste of money, it's expensive, and it's going to be heavy maintenance. And we have plenty of open space. Let's focus on what we got before we buy more property. Thank you.
Mr. Clifford?
Mike Clifford, 489 Black Plain Road. I'd like to address the gold property as well. I notice on your agenda this evening in closed session you're going to be discussing the purchase. I sent a couple of weeks ago to the town clerk asking for a copy of the budget that was submitted by the town administrator, and I'll read the most interesting paragraph in the letter. The bottom line here is the budget I am recommending will require a 5.89% increase in our levy, not including the motor vehicle levy, which will require legislative action to override the required 4% cap. Facing a 5.89% tax increase will be the only district in the state, I'll tell you right now, that will come anywhere close to that number. Why on God's green earth are we contemplating buying anything to burden the elderly a little further with a tax increase that's not going to go over well in this town? You've got plenty to do to look at to bring that number down. You don't need to be contemplating buying property to add to the debt service so that we can, increase the tax rate even higher. The big argument 2 years ago was, we needed money in the fund balance because the fund balance ratio was terrible. And I said, I disagree with that. That wasn't the ratio that's terrible. The ratio that's terrible is our debt ratio in comparison to all other communities in the state. We shouldn't be doing any more borrowing until that middle school is paid off in full. And then hopefully we'll have a few breathing years before some group runs out and buries us with debt again. But this is absurd that anybody is even contemplating purchasing this. If it's being gifted to the town, that's one thing. If we're going to call upon the taxpayers to give a nickel to this, it ought to be up for a referendum, especially when you're preparing to hit us with the 5.89% increase. I hear people say all the time, well, it's only $12 per household. But you know what? It's my right to decide what I want to do with that $12. $12, I don't want to contribute to that. So if people want to make that statement that it's only $12, then ask them to take care of the $12 debt for every household in town who doesn't want to pay the extra $12 in debt service. People are very free to spend other people's money with absolutely no consideration. Clearly, you're looking to do something for the elderly. I'd suggest you stop trying to keep the tax rate at a reasonable amount, because when I was on the budget committee, that's all I heard from the elderly residents was keep our taxes low. I don't think they want a commission. I don't think they want any of this other stuff. I think they want to be able to remain in their homes. And I'm talking about the elderly who are in their homes and pay property taxes. So thank you very much.
Next item on the agenda is comment from the town administrator in regards to the comprehensive plan.
Mr. President, members of the council, in our meeting last week, I failed to offer comment that I think is important for council and for the public to hear, and that is that as it relates to the comprehensive plan, I think folks are aware that the whole process has been stalled for a number of years. Planner Kravitz and his assistant, Bobby Monaghan, have been very effective in being able to bring it to life, and through a good amount of discussion to a point where they still are working to be able to get it to the state for approval. Call attention to the fact that the neighboring community spent almost $80,000 to have their comprehensive plan updated by an outside consultant. Your comprehensive plan was done internally at no issue. My compliments to them, and I think we can all be proud of their work. Thank you.
Next item is executive session, and I would entertain a motion to recess into executive session under Rhode Island General Law 42-46-5A5, any discussion or consideration related to the acquisition or lease of real property for public purpose or the disposition of publicly held property where an advanced public information would be detrimental to the interest of the public. Number one, the Gold Forest property, Plat 10, Lot 24, 203, Douglas Pike, and Plat 10, Lot 218, 0 Mattity Road, and the Belair property, Plat 14, Lot 7, off Douglas Pike, Lot 8, 0 Douglas Pike, Lot 105, 0 Beachway Road, and Lot 254, 0 Overlea Road. Motion, Lord. Make that motion. Motion by Mrs. Zelinski, seconded by Mrs. O'Hara. Any other discussion? None, roll